Welcome to the Near Memo, a weekly conversation about search, social, and commerce. What happened, why it matters, and the implications for local.
Tell us about how you see this with respect to Walmart.
There's been a similar sort of narrative playing out in retail. You know, Walmart was the evil empire. They became identified, particularly amongst educated elites, as a evil, take advantage of their, exploit their employees, exploit their subcontractors, exploit their vendors. And starting in 2014, they got a new CEO, Doug McMillon, who has really spent the last 9 years sort of turning that ship around, and I think successfully. My son-in-law works there. He's on the graveyard shift stocking freezers, and he's making $19.25 an hour, plus benefits, healthcare and other benefits, in a small town in Pennsylvania, where the average wage outside of that, like at Burger King, is $11 an hour, right? He's making twice what he could make given his education and background.
And Walmart would pay for his education. And Walmart would pay for his education.
And they would pay for it. That's right. And so last month I was on vacation in Ohiopyle, Pennsylvania, which is very rural, Uniontown. And we tried shopping at 3 or 4 grocery stores unsuccessfully and ended up at Walmart, where the vegetables were incredibly fresh and varied. I mean, they had bok choy and some, not standard fare. And they were clearly fresh. They were going through their vegetables, keeping them updated, stocked. And it motivated me to come into my local Walmart, which I haven't been in as one of these educated elites in a long time. And I was shocked to see that the local Walmart here has better vegetables than the 2 grocery stores where I've been shopping, which has been very annoying, to get close-dated vegetables or close-dated milk, which is sometimes all that you can get in these kind of situations, was very annoying. And this was refreshing. And when you tie that together with their, order online, pick up in their lot, I've actually, moving that way, which is it's an interesting on the narrative front, but it's also interesting because I read last week that Walmart is rolling out a new store format in 6 locations in New Jersey, New York, Quakertown, Pennsylvania, Hodgkins, Illinois, 6 locations where they're building a more Targeé-like presence where you can walk in and actually admire some of the goods on the shelf instead of having to just pick an item off the shelf. And they're building out a sort of a more upscale shopping experience to try to take advantage of the people they brought in through their grocery shopping to get them to come into the store and look at more higher margin items and displayed more attractively. And I just think it's interesting both from a practical point of view that they've been able to leverage their local presence so positively, and 2, they've been able to overcome the evil empire story to some extent, which now that story is being applied to Amazon,
right?
As Amazon moves up the hill and Walmart's moving down the other side of it. So it's an interesting narrative that happens in our society because we feel so helpless in light of these big companies that all we can do is sort of blame them, as opposed to view them as creations of our own existence. But it doesn't matter.
I think, in this case, in the first case, Microsoft sort of cleared out most of the competition in the 90s, and right. Walmart cleared out most of the competition in the 90s. And now Google and Amazon have cleared out most of the competition in the 2010s and early 2020s. And so I think there's just a, realization or just sort of coming into play, some kind of mindset coming into play that, hey, it actually just isn't good to have one company that's in control of everything. And we probably should have a multi-opoly, if not a true.
Yeah. So we're moving towards 6 market instead of 1.
Right. Exactly. So, yeah.
Well, it's the same story with Barnes and Noble, right? I mean, Barnes and Noble was initially this kind of generic, institutional book presence that nobody liked because it didn't have the warmth of the independent bookstores.
Well, actually, before that, it was a very nice bookstore in New York City.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
In a galaxy far, far away.
Exactly.
But it has revived, to a good degree, and it is now warmly regarded by people who like books and in the book industry, whereas it was this behemoth. It was the equivalent of Microsoft for a period of time. And Amazon, in each of these cases, you've got a foil. You've got Amazon in the Barnes & Noble and the Walmart case, and you've got Google in the Microsoft case. And so, Walmart and Microsoft are different a little bit. Walmart has done many things, including sort of sustainability initiatives and organic food and, doing all these benefits for their employees. And it has not fully rebranded itself, but certainly upgraded its image. And you're living proof of that, Mike. So,
I think I am an anecdote for the ages.
Before we go to David for the final item here, what does it mean to unsuccessfully shop in a grocery store? You alluded to that in your...
Well, you go for groceries and you find that the arugula is dated tomorrow, or the spinach is already wilting. That's unsuccessful, right? Or the milk is dated tomorrow, and you have no choice. This is what's on the shelf, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's an experience that's very discouraging because you don't,
the quality that you want isn't there.
The quality you want isn't there, nor is the variety.
Right.
And so given that, you just soon it be fresh. If the variety's not going to be there, at least you don't want it to go rotten tomorrow.
So you're talking bok choy and arugula. You are a coastal elite, Mike.
That's right. I am also a coastal elite. I live in a little more urban area than you, Mike. My experience, fairly recent experience with Walmart produce is still very poor, even in a relatively urban market. But I totally agree with you that they have won me as a sort of, they're in my consideration set for durable goods because of the quality of their online to offline checkout and pickup experience. They've really done a great job with it. Best Buy, there's been plenty of other retailers who have done this. And as a result, the quality of the experience does sort of put them top of mind. If I'm doing a search and I see something's available at Walmart, I'm probably more likely to buy from them. So,
well, and I had a similar experience with the microwave I bought. I went to Consumer Reports, bought a microwave that was supposedly 20 inches. Turned out it was 20.7 inches, didn't fit in the space. That night I went online with Walmart. Next morning I picked it up in their lot. And at least with Walmart, I don't have this with Best Buy or any of the other stores. I don't have a Costco. I can drive down there. It's 2 minutes away and I can get hard goods. So They have a presence for me that the other companies don't. So they're also strongly in my consideration for both, at this point, food and appliances.
Did you discover that as a kind of real-time inventory online through Google, or did you go to the Walmart site and find it there?
I searched. I went to Consumer Reports, figured out which one fit my size after I figured out the Consumer Reports was misreporting the sizes, and then did a search and then realized it was at Walmart, and then went to Walmart's site and was able to order it and pick it up the next day.
The customer journey in a nutshell. So
thanks for joining David, Mike, and Greg. To stay on top of the latest developments in local, subscribe to our newsletter at nearmedia.co. We'll see you next week.